Okay, so this video is going to go through how to do this problem in the notes. It says look at table 1 on page 54. So this table right here, we want to enter this into our calculator. So to enter a list in your calculator, you just hit the stat button and then edit. And then right now I have some numbers in here. I'm going to hit clear, enter, and that'll clear out that list. And then this list I'll get cleared on my own. So I'm entering the 0, 10, 20, etc. So I'm going to enter these numbers in list 1 and these numbers in list 2. So I just finished entering all those numbers in list 1 and list 2. I'm going to show you guys how we can see the scatter plot. So here is the scatter plot. I'm going to show you how we can do that in our calculator. So notice in blue it says stat plot. And right now in my calculator, number 1's turned on, 2 and 3 are turned off. So I'm going to click on number 1, make sure it's turned on. And notice how the first picture is a scatter plot picture. So you want to select that if it's not selected. And then make sure they know the X list is list 1 and the Y list is list 2. Okay, instead of just hitting graph, if you hit zoom, and number 9 says zoom stat, that's going to automatically get our calculator in the correct zoom. So there it looks like possibly exponential growth. So to get our equation, we're going to do stat calculate. Okay, so there's our linear regression we talked about last week. But if we go down here, this number 0 is exponential regression, list 1 and 2. And then if we hit calculate, it's thinking a little bit. Okay, see the form is a times b to the x. So your a is 1436.5 times b, which is 1.01 to the x power. And you can see that's how I wrote that. So your a gets written in the first parentheses and your b in the second parentheses. Next, I'm going to talk about one question from the homework, and that is question number 23. Here's question number 23. Let's read it. So they tell you what f of x stands for. F of x is 5 to the x. We're supposed to show that these two things would end up being equal. So basically, anywhere we see f of x, we're going to plug in x plus h. This h is just a plain h, and right here we're going to plug in f of x. So I'm going to kind of break that down on my paper. So at first this definitely looks very confusing, so maybe it would help to break it into parts. So right here, f of x equals 5x, that's going to definitely be plugged in right here. But let's just see what f of x plus h would look like. That would just be 5 to the x plus h. So we're going to insert this right here. We're going to insert 5 to the x right there, and then h just stays in h. So instead of writing f of x plus h, I'm going to write 5 to the x plus h minus 5 to the x all over h. And I'm trying to prove that that equals this. So kind of a way to maybe help us figure this out is try to think of what 5 to the x plus h means. So if we have like 5 to the second times 5 to the third, do you agree that we add the exponents? So this would be 5 to the 2 plus 3, or 5 to the 5. So we could rewrite this 5 to the x plus h as 5 to the x times 5 to the h, because remember that would make you add those, minus 5 to the x all over h. Now what does the numerator have in common that we could factor out? They have a 5 to the x in common, and now we're almost done. If we factor out a 5 to the x right here, you're left with 5 to the h, minus 1. So if you would distribute this, you would get back to 5 to the x plus h minus 5 to the x, and all of that is over h. And now you basically have what it is you were supposed to prove. So I know that one was kind of confusing, so hopefully you could follow along and write that down.